For those of you guys that have thought about signing up for M1 Finance but have yet to do so, now's the opportunity to do it. They're giving away $50 free once you fund your account. So feel free to check out the links in the description and stay around for the rest of the video. I'll show you guys my individual M1 Finance portfolio and some of the automatic pies that I've set up for you guys to invest in case you would want to copy me and parent trade me through some of my portfolio. So let's just hop right into those and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers. All right, everybody. So welcome back to the M1 Finance opportunity. So to give everyone a brief rundown, what M1 Finance is all about is basically setting up these pies and targets for different stocks or ETFs that you want to invest in. And every single month, hopefully you have some sort of auto invest where you're basically putting in a couple $100 or $10 or $20, and it will automatically invest according to that pie that you've set up. So to take a quick look, I put in about $500 twice a month. Every time I get paid, I put in $500 and it automatically will invest it in based off of this pie system. And so right now you guys can see I've under allocated for the Qs, under allocated for VTI, under allocated for TQQQ. And so TQQQ has been the one that's mostly been being contributed to over the past couple months because this is a relatively new part of the pie. NUSI was one that I've invested in for quite some time. And when I kind of switched up the portfolio to QQQQ and VTI, those got funded pretty heavily. But now, because TQQQ is the most recent one, that's one that has been mostly updated. So you can see how quickly you can get some funds building in here if you're adding it to it consistently and you're having a decent market run. We've had a pretty good run in the Qs, really good run in VTI. And so I also have signed up for M1 Premium, so I'm able to borrow funds as well, which I have a video on, which I'll put a link in the description, about basically allowing you to borrow for funds for up to 1% to 2% of the money. So I don't really utilize it as much, but it's there if you guys need it. That being said, what I can do for you guys, and we'll go through a bunch of these as well, I'll share this individual pie here that we have on the screen. If you guys are interested in copying this one, 35% Qs, 35% VTI, 10% NUSI to get that income, 20% TQQQ for high growth, but also high volatility. Have that in the description for you guys for you to copy. But I also have a bunch of other ones that replicate the rest of my portfolio. I have a lot of different ETFs that I have in the portfolio, a lot of different stocks that I have in the other parts of my portfolio. So I wanted to include those for you guys in case any of you are interested in that. So this one replicates a lot of what I have in my Fidelity individual brokerage account. So a lot of NUSI, a lot of XYLD, a lot of Altria Group. And this is basically all the stocks that I invest in for dividend income and stability, right? So a lot of these are income ETFs. As you can see, XYLD is an income ETF. NUSI is also an income ETF. But a lot of these other ones are dividend stocks that either are continuing to grow the dividend or have very low volatility comparatively to the market. So for that is where I basically wanted to get this dividend and options ETF. So I'll copy this pie, leave that in the description for you as well. Here's my higher growth sort of funds that I'm really looking at and adding to. So for those of you guys that don't follow my channel too much, I'm trying to get to 10 shares of Amazon. I have 100 shares of Alibaba. I'm trying to get to 15 shares of Google here. I'm at about 11 or 12 at the moment. I have about 53 shares at Disney. And my Facebook, I don't have any Facebook at the moment, but I do have some Qs. But if I were to have unlimited money, I definitely would have individual stock holding in Facebook. And then Visa, I think, is a really good one as well. So over the past 5 years or so, this has done extremely well. You can see it's gone up about 256% in these particular stocks. So had you invested, let's just say $100 into this, you'd be sitting on $356 at the moment. So looking pretty healthy in that respect. So keep that in mind if it's something that you might want to be looking at. These are kind of the growth stocks that I would be picking if I were to say have a growth stock only sort of portfolio going forward. So I'll leave that pie in the description for you as well. Then I have my high conviction Moonshot stocks. So I have ARKG, I have Palantir, Wish. Wish is my high conviction stock. I have like 2,800 shares of Wish in my Roth IRA. MoneyGram is another one that I think is going to do relatively well. I have VACQ, hoping it transfers over to Rocket Labs here pretty soon. We have Virgin Galactic. Actually, tomorrow we have the Richard Branson launch, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully that goes well. We have SRAC, which is also going to be in the space industry as well. So Financial, which is going to do phenomenal, in my opinion. I think it's a new way for people to do finance, and I think they have a relatively good funnel system set up there. You also have PaySafe, which is going to help with the payment systems that you have for online gambling that you have coming out these days. So over the past month or so, you can see how well this portfolio is kind of done. It's up like 17, 18%. I think that's just a rebound of a lot of these more speculative positions here. So this is only since May 31st. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that some of these are rather new stocks and have come from reverse mergers associated with SPACs and stuff like that. So I'll leave that in the description for you guys as well. And then I have my aggressive ideal, which I think is close to replicating what I have in terms of the M1 Finance portfolio that I fund $1,000 with every month. But it takes a little bit more into strictly looking at triple leverage for the S&P 500, triple leverage for the NASDAQ 100, and then a little bit of NUSI for that income. So it gets rid of the Qs, it gets rid of VTI, but instead, you only have TQQQ, which is the triple leverage NASDAQ 100, and you only have the S&P 500 triple leveraged as well. So that over the past 5 years or so would have done extremely well as well. Actually, this is only the past 2 or 3 years, I think, because SPXL is a rather new product, or maybe it's NUSI. It's NUSI that's the new product, sorry. So NUSI's only been around since December-ish time frame, so new product, so it doesn't go back far in time, but you can see over the past year and a half how well it's done, 242% in that period of time. Keep in mind, you'll have big pullbacks though, if there's any time of volatility. So keep that in mind if this is a sort of portfolio that you might be looking at for the long term, but I don't think it's bad to have a small portion of it in there, 5-10% of your portfolio in something like this, which would be very volatile if you can handle the volatility, of course. But I think in the long run, you'll do extremely well in it. And then you have my ideal portfolio, ideal pie, meaning what I would have if money wasn't really a big problem, right? And I just needed to make sure that things were up to speed and things were going right, and just needed to make sure my funds were safe. And that would probably be 40% Qs, 40% VTI, 15% NUSI for that income, and 5% TQQQ. So I think that this is where I would get my ideal portfolio kind of too. You can see over the past 18 months or so, it's returned about 81%. Again, that's limited because of NUSI here, meaning the time horizon that we're able to look at. But 81%, it's not too bad. If you just had put money in December of 2019, you'd be up 81% from there. So can't complain. I will also leave this pie in the description for you guys. And I think that that's relatively it. But you can just see how much fun you can have if you look at strictly like 5-year performance of, say, TQQQ and stuff of the like. So all this is hugely beneficial for anybody that wants to potentially look at utilizing M1 Finance in their sort of repertoire. I think it's extremely lucrative for people to set and forget. So it's definitely people that just want to put in $500 and not necessarily choose where it goes. It's automated. You don't necessarily have to set it up. You just have to auto invest, a little tick on, and it'll automatically put in wherever you want it to go at the allocation rate that you want it to be. So keep that in mind. It's something that you are pretty bad about, is putting money away and not actually investing it. It's just sitting in a brokerage account or something like that. I have plenty of friends like that. I recommend M1 Finance for them because it basically allows them to set it and forget it, right? They think about it once or twice. They have a good allocation that they're happy with. And next thing you know, they just have to focus on their 9-to-5 job and making sure the money goes in every month. And if it does, it's invested the way that they want it and how they want it, and it's going to continue to grow. I mean, you can just see, I do this every single month, and I've had some pretty decent returns over the past couple months associated with it over the past 18 months or so since I started using it in late 2019 timeframe. So hope this video finds you guys well. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any questions about it. Would love to help you guys in any way, shape possible. And of course, if you guys are interested, get the free $50 that you can get by signing up utilizing some of the pies that we have down in the description below. So thanks everybody. Hope you guys enjoy. Cheers.